Hey there, I'm Stacey Tuschel, founder of the Foot Traffic Formula, where I help small business powerhouses maximize their time while multiplying their profits. Make sure to hit the subscribe button so you never miss another video again. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode. Today is a strategizing with Stacey day. So that means what we've got going on is I'm going to bring on 2 or 3 clients every week when I do these and just let them do some on-air coaching. I know a lot of times when I'm strategizing with somebody inside of Foot Traffic Formula, so many of our other clients, they might not even ask a question that day, but they'll get so much out of the feedback and coaching that we're doing with one of our clients. So we thought, why not give them some extra time with me, but then you get to watch it and get some benefit of it. So I'm super excited. We've got some great guests today, and we're just going to dive right in. So let me bring on Renee. Hi, Renee. Thanks for being here today.
Hi, Stacey. Thank you.
Yeah. So Renee, why don't you first just give like a very short overview of your business so people have some backstory, and then jump in with your question.
Okay. So I teach sewing and dressmaking skills to all ages and no matter where you are in your sewing journey. So I have a kids teen class. I take people who sew that need to freshen up their skills. And then I also take experienced sewists and help them develop their skills even further. So that's me in a snapshot.
Perfect.
I also teach local community ed classes, and I'm really looking to now pivot to go online. And that's part of coming on this is, so where I am at with it is there are a lot of people already in the marketplace. There's craftsy.com that a lot of the big names in sewing are already on there. I follow several on YouTube. There's a gal who I really like a lot that is in Iowa that does very similar to me. However, she has a bigger name and a broader audience than I do. However, I still feel that I'm niche. I am really looking at doing more of a personal coaching thing where people sign up for my membership, and I'll have basic sewing instruction online, but really what my heart is to get the struggling sewer past their roadblocks and understand their fitting and make them successful in their sewing. So that's me.
All right. What is your question for us today?
So how do I go up against these big guns in getting my name out there and getting them to understand what I'm really offering is a more personalized service. Yeah. And I'm thinking, I mean to be so broken, I'm thinking of 2 different things. One where it's a group coaching thing where it's more affordable, because sewers are DIYers, they're going to want to spend a lot. And then I would offer, just like I do in my studio, a 1-to-1 that would be at a higher price point.
Okay. So first, let's kind of just go back for let's go back for a second. I'm going to ask you this, but I want every listener to listen to this question. Have you ever stumbled upon somebody on Instagram, on YouTube, you've never heard of them before, but they have a massive following? Have you ever had that happen?
Yeah. I've smart people have done that. Right?
Yeah. So all of a sudden you're on Instagram, somebody pops up in your algorithm. You're like, who is this? And you click on them and they have 150,000 followers, right? My point here is just because somebody is big in your space does not mean everybody knows who they are. Okay. So they could have a lot of followers. They could be a big player, but that doesn't mean anything, right? Because there could be somebody that has never heard of that person, but finds you. So first, just know like that happens frequently, okay? The next piece is you were ready. I mean, I know you're a client, so you're already thinking, how do I stand out? How do I be different? You know that. You can't compete against some of these big people playing the game that they're playing. So I think the way that your brain is working, Renee, is perfect. You're saying, well, stores are doing this, and if you're DIY, you wouldn't want that, and you'd want this. And so I think lean in to the gap in the marketplace and what you can provide. So I always say, like, there's 2 parts, right? And this got me through COVID so much. Like, I would just say to myself, what do they want? What can I give them? Right? What do they want? What can I give them? Now, There's going to be a bunch of things in both categories. And let's do circles. There's going to be just a few that overlap. You know how if I was doing my little diagram, there'd be a little section.
Yep.
Sell in that little section, right? And just keep asking, what do they want? What could I give? What do they want? What could I give? And then find the mutual pieces and lean into that. Does that help?
So I'm looking to kick off. I've created a lead magnet, is a sewing planner for a year, and offering that as kind of either as a webinar or like a 3-day boot camp on how to kick off. And it doesn't have to be a first of the year, just getting started planning your sewing. I'll know if you don't plan, you don't make time for it. And I find that's true with a lot of sewers. And then by going through, whether I make a webinar on how to use it and they download it, or I make it a several day kind of boot camp on how to use it, then offer my membership at the end as a way to launch it. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's great. You definitely want to make sure that as long as you've got very crystal clear on what the membership is going to offer, it's just teasing it nicely, right? If you can answer, yes, the people that take this masterclass or this series or this whatever are going to be the same types of people that I'm going to try to attract for the product itself, you're golden. But when you start to have these lead magnets or freebies that there's a disconnect, right? Then of course the conversion is going to be very small, if any.
My target is people who either struggle to make time for sewing or with sewing in general. It's people who are already, it's part of their everyday life, don't really need me unless they need to grow a new skill. I'm really wanting to the people that have unfinished projects in their drawer, or and they stop because they hit a roadblock, or they're an advanced newbie, but they don't know how to take on these bigger projects, dressmaking projects.
I think you're probably better off finding the person that wants to make the time and is ready to make the time versus like, I wouldn't help them necessarily find the time, because if you do, you're already saying that it's not a priority. They're not interested. So if you're trying to find people that aren't necessarily trying to squeeze it in, it's going to be harder. But if you go back and you say like, you know, maybe phrasing it as like finding a new hobby. I don't know about you, but when I was doing my goal setting for 2021, I wrote down hobbies and I was like, what is this going to look like this year? Right? Helping them find that hobby, finding a new hobby, and then incorporating that new hobby into their current schedule. But come at it from somebody who is wanting to do it and wants to find the time and is ready to make the time versus they're saying they don't have the time and you're trying to convince them otherwise.
Gotcha. And I've had huge growth this year because of COVID.
Yeah, I bet.
Because at home with nowhere to go do anything, and my funnel through you, my kids' class has exploded. I've had 4 new people sign up last 14 days. So but people still are cautious about coming out, and that's where I'm looking to pivot to offer this online, or that they can meet with me online and get what they need.
Yeah, don't forget about being a resource for what sewing machine do I buy? What inexpensive sewing machines can I buy? Let's say somebody wants to get serious and you're like, if you're serious and you're looking to spend some money, here are the top 5 ones I would recommend. Here are the top 5 budget-friendly ones I'd recommend. You know, set up affiliate links, get that going so that as people are looking online, you're that resource. Makes sense? Yeah.
So I have just one more question. Coming up on my 2-year anniversary in my studio, I'm having a new web totally redone, more feminine, more attractive, faster. And going from my personal WordPress that I developed myself to having it professionally done, he's having me drop the blog because it's too much to bring it over. He is suggesting that I start a new blog, another server, and then just have the link on my web page. What do you think of that?
Okay, so hang on. So he's saying not to bring the blog over. Can you start it fresh on the new website? This is why
I would have to ask him that
This is why you want a blog on your website, okay? Google, because you're local. This is your local business. you want to show up high on Google search engine, right? You want to show up high as people are typing in certain things. Well, what happens is one of the reasons people show up higher is because it's the website's being updated and it's telling Google, this is a relevant website. We update it. Okay. Because Google's number one priority is to deliver relevant, up-to-date information. So if your competitor has a website that's 3 years old and they haven't touched it, there's no blog, there's nothing on it, they're not going to show up high. So the reason you want the blog on the website is because you'll be making frequent updates to the website, telling Google, we're relevant, show us. So I would be really careful that you're taking away something that could help you increase the relevance score.
What if I did a YouTube channel, which is a Google platform, and I can be found on there, and if they want my services, direct them back to the website? My web developer seems to be really pushing back over the blog thing.
I question if you have the right web developer. And I know that's probably not what you want to hear, but I can't imagine any web developer that is in it for. So here's the thing. Some people are in it to just deliver the project, get their money, and they're out. And some people are like, I've got to get you the best quality. So you come back, you keep coming back, etc. I just can't believe a web developer wouldn't see the value for a business owner to have a blog on their website. So if he's pushing back, I think he either doesn't know how to do it, it's going to be a big project for him, or the website you're currently using doesn't have great capacity for it. There's got to be something going on there.
Well, the thing is, because I'm in a budget and I'm only a couple years old, that it was going to cost me a lot of money for him to bring it over. And I don't know what it was going to be for me to be able. I will bring these questions to him and I will update you.
Yeah. And then what I would suggest is you don't have to bring all the blogs over. Start fresh. Start fresh and just start putting one of those old blogs back on there once a week to get it going. Yeah. I can see him saying like, you got 2 years worth of stuff to bring it over. It's going to cost you X, Y, Z. Totally get that. But at the same time, you could find a virtual assistant to manually do some of this stuff if you needed to at a much cheaper price point than a $90 an hour guy. I don't know how much he costs, but they can be expensive. Yeah. And he might be totally telling you the truth. He might be like, listen, Renee, it's going to cost you $1,000 to just do the blog. It doesn't make sense. But if you've got us, so we can tell you how to get a VA to help you do this, you can get it much cheaper. But I would definitely make sure you've got a blog there.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That's what I needed to hear, because I haven't known how to express to him how important the blog was.
Yeah. Yeah. And there could be many reasons why he's pushing back on it, but I think you have to remind yourself, you're the business owner, you're getting marketing coaching, and you have an opinion here too, which sometimes they think like they're the marketing expert, but it's your business. And if you want it, I think go for it. And not that you have to have it, but what I'm telling you is there's a lot of reasons people have blogs on their websites.
Great. Yeah. He does a lot of brick and mortar type of businesses that don't blog. So I think that is one of the reasons why.
Yeah. And let's be honest, there's a lot of brick and mortar businesses that are great at the product, the program, the service they're delivering, but they're not great business owners. So I'm not surprised that somebody who's dealing with all these brick and mortars is dealing with other brick and mortars that don't have great marketing tactics, right? That's the reason I feel like I can compete in my market, is because I actually have marketing experience. So when I'm competing with my brick and mortars in my area, it's a little bit of an easier game than it is online, where everybody knows all of the strategies, right? Yeah. So just be careful.
Thank you.
You're so welcome, Renee. Thank you so much for jumping on.
No problem.
Renee, where can people find your sewing website, or just more details on it?
So you can find me at www.sewingandfitting FITTING mentor.com. Same thing on Facebook. And then with Instagram, it's at sewing _and _fitting _mentor. That's where you can
if you want to go on the chat and put any of those links in there, feel free to do that. And then Renee, before you leave, I want to ask you one question about foot traffic, because you are in the program.
Yes.
What is your biggest, like your favorite part of the program? Like what is something you get the most value out of? I know that can be different for everybody. So I'm just curious what yours is.
I have probably two most favorite things. One is because I was afraid of funnels before I joined. I had never created one. I knew they were important. I knew landing pages were important. I just could not wrap my mind around it. And the fact, so my other favorite part is Kristen and Erica. It's Kristen, when I was in the boot camp, was in there with me all the way through it back in October. And then to have a personal coach that I'm talking to each month that is keeping me accountable and helping me set goals and making sure and following up and saying, do you have any questions? Are there any hiccups? She even wished me Merry Christmas over the holidays. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And then and the encouragement from other members, it's when the congrats come up and I make sure I make a point of going, way to go. That's awesome. You made it to level 2. It's truly a community, and that's my favorite part.
I love that so much. Renée, thank you so much for jumping on today.
You're welcome.
All right.
Bye.
See you later. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining us. These were clients inside of Foot Traffic Formula. If you ever want to find out about our coaching program that we have, you can go to foottrafficprogram.com for all of the details. And if you are one of our Foot Traffic clients, make sure you ask your coach how you can get on here and do some bonus calls with me, all right? Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already, and then hit that notification icon so you never miss another video again.